If you play a dominant 7 chord and then lower the 2 middle notes, you instantly have diminished half of the notes. So this is a great way to remember the name half diminished chord. If you play a minor 7 chord and lower only 5, you have a minor 7 flat 5 chord. This chord is also a half diminished chord. So now you have 2 different names for the same chord, and both of them are used frequently by jazz musicians. If you play a diminished 7 chord and raise the top note by 1/2 tone, again you form the same kind of chord, which obviously can be called either a half diminished chord or a minor 7 flat 5 chord. So there are 3 different ways to get to the same chord in all 12 keys. Use any of these 3 methods, whatever floats your boat. It turns out that this diminished chord is very useful for getting to half diminished chords in 4 different ways. We can, of course, make a half diminished chord from a diminished chord by raising the top note. When we do that, we get the Captain Obvious snowman form that most people learn first, and that is an excellent first step. But we can also raise the second to the top note. That gets us to another half diminished chord. And by the way, whenever there is a whole tone in our chord, we can use the top of that whole tone for the letter name. Then we can raise the second to the bottom, and that gets us to yet another half diminished chord. Once again, we can name it by finding the top note of the tone. Finally, we can raise the bottom note, and again we can find the tone on the bottom and name the chord with the top of that tone. Now here comes the rabbit hole. There is one really cool thing that I want to mention, which is a bit more complicated but very interesting. If we start with a diminished chord and we continue inverting that diminished chord over and over again, in each new inversion we will raise the top note and we will get a new snowman chord with a different letter name. The names of these 4 snowman chords will form a diminished chord, and the relationship of those 4 half diminished chords fall right into the quartet concept. They are super important for modulations and really cool for morphing. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Leave me comments about anything you like, anything you'd like to see in the future, and remember that I consider all suggestions.